Hello, everybody. The second Echo webinar we did, we got some kind of solar zap that the whole thing just, the screen wasn't working, nothing was working, and the replay didn't even, we couldn't give you the replay because Webinar Jam did not have the replay. That was very unusual. Webinar Jam apologized, but we come back to you today with the science behind the water. We're going to have slide presentations and so that you can see what is actually behind this amazing machine. By the way, Ty, you're blipping in and out, so it's a little iffy on the connection on the TurtleNet. It's TurtleNet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay, you guys are so helpful. Look at that. You ask a question, and they often have an answer. We've got Sharon and Cheryl, Max, Rebecca, Eric, Judy, Leslie from UK. Awesome. I hear you both, Pam says. Lewis, yes. Nancy, yes. Thank you. Okay, so we're being heard, which is great. So, water, Ty, what do you want to talk about with water?
Well, you know, I mean, water is everywhere. Our bodies are 60-ish%, 65% water. So it's very important. Water is a very important topic. We titled this webinar, How to Turn Your Tap Water into a Healing Elixir. Now, this is part 2, as Charlene mentioned, because we've done another webinar in the past on this, and you loved it, and you asked for more. So this is part 2. And what we really want to cover is how to take normal tap water and make it actually turn it into, quote, medicine, right? How can you do that? And there's technology that has been invented that actually does that. It actually takes, you can take your tap water and turn it into something that's very powerful. 2 of the leading causes of disease are, number 1, inflammation, and number 2, oxidative stress. And the interesting thing about this this special type of water that we're going to be talking about today is that it can actually help reduce oxidative stress. It's an antioxidant which reduces oxidative stress. So,
Paul, here you are. Hey, Paul, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great, great. I'm here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on Mount Washington, with a view of this beautiful city. Ty is down in Nashville on TurtleNet, so he keeps breaking out. Paul, so
no problem.
You know, I can see you perfectly.
Oh, good, good, good. Well, that's awesome. I'm grateful to be here with you and love you both, as you know, and you're in 2 different cities, but together.
We are always together in heart. No matter where in the world Ty is, I'm there with him. So
that's right.
That's a win. That's
yeah.
a win. Yeah. But we're just talking about the miraculous powers of real healing water and frequency. And Paul, we were talking about our first webinar. Remember that? People just loved it, but they had so many questions, and they wanted us to keep going, and they wanted another webinar. And so in February we came out with part 2, and then we got zapped. So I mean, you had this great slideshow and all the facts behind the science and the amazing properties within this amazing machine that you've created. So I think that we can now unpack it. I have strong internet. You have strong internet. Let's pray Webinar Jam holds it all up. He's a little bit shaky, but he's here with us.
Perfect. Well, he looks good.
He does look good. Paul, I'm seeing Ty sideways, though. Are you seeing him sideways or straight up?
Sideways.
Okay. I think that the viewers are seeing him straight up, though. I'm seeing him sideways, too.
Okay, good. As long as the viewers are seeing him straight up, we're good.
Let's see. Yeah, totally. So, Paul, let's talk about the water machine and the frequencies. You had some slides that you were going to share with our viewers last time, but we weren't able to get into those.
Yeah, I don't see them in the program here to be able to start them, but I'm trying to see.
Yeah, Des and Peter, if you're there, can you help us with the slides in the background? Okay.
Yeah, just so y'all know, I'm just turning my camera off so at least you can hear me, but I think that I'll have enough bandwidth for you to hear the audio without being able to see my beautiful face, even though I'm really not beautiful, and I look really, really funny today. So that's why I'm turning off the camera, actually.
Well, we miss you, your beautiful face, or handsome, I should
He
I'll
say.
does
stay
have a
on
beautiful
voice
face.
only.
Well, good. Well, in the meantime, we can talk about it. Yeah,
Yeah, and Paul, just before you came on, let me add this. I was just talking about some of the amazing benefits of this machine that we're going to talk about today.
okay, perfect. So this is a listing of diseases or conditions or issues that are caused by oxidative stress. When we talk about diseases, we can call it cancer, we can call it blood pressure issues, we can call it stroke. There's so many different names of diseases, but really the cause is oxidative stress and inflammation. So if we were to Google cause of disease, leading cause of disease, it would be oxidative stress and inflammation. So this first slide shows us organized by brain, heart, kidney, skin, joints, immune, lung, what have you, all the different diseases that are caused by oxidative stress. And for instance, we see up there bipolar, cancer, and cancer is in many of the areas because cancer can affect many parts of the body. And even though we call diseases by the compartment or the place in the body that they affect, it's still oxidative stress and inflammation. And the reason we talk about this, or I start with this, is because the water out of the echo hydrogen system reduces oxidative stress and inflammation. So while we don't sit there and say, every disease we can help you, we do help with the cause of disease, which is oxidative stress and inflammation. And we believe as we help with the main cause of disease, then we allow the body to do what it was created to do, and that is to heal itself. And that's the reality. We have, you have under brain Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and autism and depression and dementia and bipolar schizophrenia. We have studies on these issues showing that hydrogen has a beneficial effect when you dissolve it in water with these issues. When it comes to heart, we have studies showing that there are benefits for blood pressure issues and for other things having to do with heart. And so the immune system, which is another biggie, that's, I believe, where every one of these problems really starts, is gut dysfunction. We have studies showing that the water, the properties of the water itself being a negative 400 millivolts, they can change the terrain in the intestinal tract so that you specifically and selectively stimulate the growth of anaerobic microflora. And this is huge when we can take people that have gluten and dairy issues and within a few weeks can be eating gluten and dairy without any inflammation or discomfort. This is huge. So this is why I put this slide up, is because it really is the problem. This is what we're wanting to affect, all of these issues. And I'm sure everyone watching can understand that you probably have a loved one or maybe yourself is suffering from one of these things. These are very common in our society.
Yeah, somebody was asking, Paul, if we're talking about hydrogen water. So let's just make that clear.
Yes, we are talking about hydrogen water. And just real quick, when we say the word hydrogen, what we're talking about is H2, not H+. We're not talking about a hydrogen ion. We're not talking about deuterium, which is an isotope of hydrogen. We're talking about molecular hydrogen, or what's called diatomic hydrogen, or H2 gas. What we're doing in the machine, first and foremost, is we are filtering water. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, but we're filtering all of the contaminants, glyphosate, Roundup, these kind of things out of water. And then we are putting into the water, we're separating the water molecule, H2O, and I kind of say like the H2 and O, and we separate the H2 and the O, we put oxygen back out to the atmosphere, and we dissolve the H2 molecule, which is gas, into the H2O water that is continuing through the machine. So basically it's hydrogen enriched water. And all of the studies, the 700 studies that we talk about with the hydrogen water showing that there's benefits, are on dissolving hydrogen or H2 gas into water. So we talked a little bit about oxidative stress and inflammation. We're going to talk a couple minutes on how does oxidative stress occur in the body. Well, it occurs because of mitochondrial function. It occurs because we're not producing as much ATP naturally, and we're eating a lot of sugar and a lot of carbs, and that changes the mitochondrial function to where we're carb loading and sugar. And when we burn sugar for fuel more than we are producing real ATP, we end up having a lot of reactive oxygen species or other things that cause oxidative stress. But the main cause of this is gut damage. So when we look at number 2, it is the gut damage. It is the fact that we don't have a functioning gut, that we lose the ability to reduce oxidation in the body and keep oxidation in a normal range. And this is because the bacteria in the gut has been destroyed, either by antibiotics, pesticides, heavy metals, diet, stress, whatever. But this is the main cause of these things. And we just saw a slide, number 4, how does oxidative stress affect the body? We just saw many, many diseases that are caused by oxidative stress. And of course, what can we do about it? And that is what we're going to talk about now. Here is a supporting study just showing that hydrogen acts as a therapeutic antioxidant by selectively reducing cytotoxic oxygen radicals. Now, that's a big mouthful. Let's talk about that in plain English, right? Cytotoxic means cell damaging. Hydrogen, we're talking about H2. A therapeutic antioxidant is interesting because all antioxidants are not beneficial. Many of the antioxidants are damaging to the body if we take them too much, because they can actually cause problems in our body. When they donate an electron, your typical antioxidants or an electron donor, when they donate an electron, they end up becoming a pro-oxidant. Well, the beautiful thing about this study is hydrogen doesn't donate an electron. It is not an electron donor. It reacts with other things that are problematic. So what this study showed is that the radicals that had a physiological role or a purpose to sustain life, hydrogen didn't react with. It was only the cell damaging radicals that hydrogen reacts with and stops. And so it's a very beautiful, beautiful study. Here we have a colon cancer study to where, and actually I talked about this in the last live event that we had in Orlando. I talked about this study, but in this study, it shows that hydrogen, when you dissolve it in water, had a very high anti-cancer-like activity in the body because it restarted apoptosis so that the cancer cells would, in fact, destroy themselves like they are supposed to. And in the bottom, you can see down there where it says high-content hydrogen water exhibited stronger antioxidative and anti-cancer-like activity in the body than did natural hydrogen water. And then it says, in conclusion, high-content hydrogen water can what? Inhibit colon cancer. This is a very strong language. So I'm just showing some of these beautiful studies that we have to help people understand that this is science. We know there's a critical importance of hydration, just being water, drinking water, but we want to make sure that we don't have harmful chemicals like glyphosate or Roundup in our water. We don't want to have heavy metals. We don't want to have chemicals that are damaging our gut and damaging our body function when we're drinking water. Because if we're properly hydrated with water that doesn't have a lot of contaminants in it, it can promote better brain and cardiovascular health. It decreases risk of cancer, both colon cancer and breast cancer. We have better intestinal health, gastrointestinal health. So that means a better immune function. And of course, we have better brain function when we are properly hydrated. So these are reasons to drink water, obviously, which I don't think anyone's going to argue that you should drink water. However, over half of the population, the last study I read from Harvard, showed that over half the population was chronically dehydrated. And so I think it's because people don't trust water. They're very worried about water. So anyways, these are some reasons why we need to do this. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about the filtration. Here are the things that we remove in the filter that's in the Echo H2 hydrogen machine. You can see pesticides, chlorine, chloramines, bacteria, viruses, fungus, algae, glyphosate. I mentioned it specifically, even though it is a pesticide, it's an important one. And then we have down under the metals, mercury, lead, nickel, copper, chromium-6, arsenic. So there's many different things, obviously, that we remove out of the water so that you don't have to remove these or have these horrible things in your body. These are the things that we do remove in the filter so that you can have peace of mind and have clean water to drink. This is a metal scan, and I don't know if everyone can read it. If you squint, maybe you can, but this is a test we did on the heavy metals that we remove out of the water, and this just shows that we remove many of the metals down to a non-detectable and a very low limit, and we're happy to post these for anybody that wants to see them. This is the glyphosate removal test showing from January 25th, 2019, when the test was completed, that we remove glyphosate or Roundup down to a non-detectable level in the water when it goes through the machine. This is also deuterium. There's a lot of people right now, Charlene, that are worried about deuterium. There are some people out there promoting deuterium depleted water and other things. Deuterium is in all naturally occurring water, whether it's rivers, oceans, lakes, it doesn't matter. Deuterium is in all water. And if your gut is functioning properly, then you don't have to worry about this. What I'm showing here is water that was going through our machine. You can see it lowered the deuterium level down into the green. And so it was really good that it did lower the deuterium level. So we don't add deuterium into water. We don't completely remove deuterium, but we did remove a good bit of the deuterium so that it was down into a safe range. So this is important for people to understand that we are not adding deuterium into the water. Fluoride removal, I think we have in the shop checkout when people are ready. If we do remove some fluoride in our filter, but we don't remove all of fluoride. If they want to remove all of the fluoride, then they need to order the fluoride filter, which is external, and it goes outside of the machine. They're $50 each, and they would need to replace them every 6 months. That's the fluoride filter. Now, let's talk a little bit about how we make hydrogen in the machine. This is the module, and we are the only company in the world that uses this module. It is a proprietary module. What happens is water comes into the unit, and water, as I said, is separated. 1 part per million of the water molecules are separated into the gas that form them, or in other words, hydrogen and oxygen. And then through the machine, you can see that you go through a hydrogen generation unit, and then you go through a mixing unit so that we then dissolve the hydrogen gas into the water so that when it comes out of the machine, you have hydrogen gas dissolved, roughly around 1 part per million. Now we need to understand that half a part per million is considered therapeutic. 1 part per million is twice the therapeutic concentration, and so you have plenty of hydrogen. On the studies that were for Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, autism, the benefits come from gastric ghrelin. You have leptin and ghrelin in the body, 2 master hormones. When they did the study, there was no elevated amount of hydrogen in the brain, but there was elevated ghrelin secretions. So we know when you drink the water with hydrogen in it, it stimulates the hydrogen, stimulates ghrelin that goes to the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, and the brainstem to increase cognitive function. And this is critical because with autistic, we saw a study with young boys that have low ghrelin secretions because their gut has been damaged. When hydrogen water was used, it increased ghrelin levels, and the autistic behaviors were greatly lessened. And so when it comes to these neurologic issues, even as little as 0.1 parts per million, a tenth of what we put in the water was able to create that ghrelin secretion into the brain so that it can help them. So even the way smaller amount of hydrogen than what we put in our machine is able to help neurologic function. But this on the screen is how we make the hydrogen in the water. There's nothing that you need to add to the machine to create hydrogen. It will do it by itself as you're using the machine. The only real maintenance that needs to be done on the machine is to replace the filter, and the machine will tell you when it's time to replace the filter. So here we see what the machine looks like, the Echo H2 machine. It produces water that is clean for you to drink, so you can have peace of mind that you're not drinking in contaminants. It produces hydrogen, H2, dissolved in the water. It's great tasting because you don't have contaminants in the water. It does have a filter change reminder. You can see on the front of the screen there is a little place where it starts out when it's brand new at 4,000 liters or 1,000 gallons, and it will continue to count down as you use the machine so that you'll know when you're getting near to replace the filter. And those filters are around $100. So typically once a year or at 1,000 gallons or 4,000 liters, you would need to change the filter, and the machine will speak to you and tell you when it's time to change it. You can slightly adjust the water flow. You can use the machine on the countertop or under the sink. You can see the faucet that is there. We have the faucet available in multiple finishes. This allows you to put the machine under your sink and have a nice faucet that you get your drinking water out of and your cooking water. And that's the machine automatically turns on when you turn the faucet on, so it senses that water is flowing. Now,
Paul,
yeah, go ahead.
Paul, I just want to cut in here and just let you know, as you're talking about that box being underneath the counter of the sink, it's amazing because, I mean, sometimes you can get a water filter and it takes up so much space, and sometimes we don't have a lot of space on our counters.
Right.
So having that thing underneath, hidden away, nobody can see it, but it's performing. It's giving you life-giving water. To me, that's a huge win. I love our Echo machine.
Yeah, great point. You're right. You're right. Many other machines, they don't even allow them to go under sink, or you have to do some elaborate installation. We designed this so that the same exact machine, even let's say someone's renting an apartment today, a year from now, 2 years from now, they can convert it to an under sink if they purchase a home. So it's a very, very adaptable unit. The same exact machine can be used countertop or under sink. We've even had some people in their RVs that put them in the RV, and they can put it under the sink in the RV because it can actually, there's two places where you can put screws, and it can hang on a wall, so it's very secure. The machine won't fall over.
I want that RV. I want that Echo RV.
Perfect. So we've had people put them in boats, in RVs, all over. It's amazing what they do. And we even have people who are camping and use solar to even we have people in Amish communities that use solar, and it's enough to power the machine, and so they can have it. So there's many different applications. Even people who have the bottled water brought in, there's a little pump that you can purchase, a flow jet pump that will pump it from a 5-gallon bottle into the machine. So there's no excuse to not be able to have the water. And one thing I'll point out, you can use tap water, you can use spring, well water or spring water, but you can also use reverse osmosis or distilled water. Some people like reverse osmosis or distilled water because they know it's clean. You can put this into our machine and have hydrogen added so that it helps your body. And so there's really no type of water. As long as it's safe to drink the water, you can put it into the Echo H2 machine. Now,
you know what? While you're talking here, I just wanted to say, Paul, I know that people, they're wondering how can they get this machine, and how much does this machine cost? So I just wanted to say that for our followers for today, we're giving a big giant discount. Paul,
Yeah.
what is?
We're giving a $500 discount. So
Wow.
we never really discount, and we have many people that buy our machine at retail, but we really wanted to help friends of Truth About Cancer to have this, and they can get it for a highly discounted. The machine is normally $25.95, and I think we're also giving them a bottle of tablets, which would put it up over $2,650. And for them, they can get that for $2,095, including shipping anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter where they are. The machine is able to be used anywhere in any type of electricity, 110, 220, anywhere in the world. And we ship it 2-day air to international countries. There will be a small duty that they'll have to pay, but other than that, we do not charge for shipping into the international countries, Europe or anywhere else.
Paul, shipping could be a giant charge in and of itself. So they're saying $500 plus those tablets, which is an additional savings, which are great when you're traveling and you don't have your machine with you. You can still get that hydrogen in your water, which is such a win. And then to not have to pay shipping. I mean, I lived in New Zealand, so I know how much shipping costs. I was buying all kinds of stuff from America. So that's a big chunk of change there that you're giving them just free. So thank you for doing that for our followers here.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, it would easily be a $200 shipping charge because it's 2-day air that they're getting. So it's going to get from us to them in 2 days to them. And then once it goes through, they could have it in 3 days, really. It's really quick. And so we want to take care of them and get it to them quickly, because when people buy this machine, they are excited. They want to have better health. They want to feel improvements, and they're excited. They don't want to wait a long time. So it's very, very good that they can get it quickly. So
yeah, and so I just encourage everyone, if you want one, go get one. I mean, I've got 2 in my house. I've got 2 kitchens, and both kitchens, I wanted this water. If my kiddos are going to go get some water to drink, I wanted them to have that healthy water. I want to be drinking it. Just talking to you again, Paul, it's a reminder to me of how powerful this water is. I mean, that hydrogen, God created our bodies to receive that gift. That is a gift from God that helps to keep us healthy, and we're not getting it really anywhere else, I don't think. Are we?
No. It's interesting because God created our bodies to make hydrogen, but that's if our gut is working properly. And the reality is at least 96% of the population have a damaged gut. Or in other words, what we really need to understand is if the gut is not working, then the immune system is not working properly. And that's why we have so many disease models. We should be able to produce 10 to 12 liters of hydrogen gas per day in our gut when we ferment food. So when we have our 3 meals a day, typically, if we go back 150 years, we would be eating fiber-rich foods because we'd be eating more vegetables. We would have the proper bacteria in our gut. We would have foods that broke down to short-chain fatty acids or medium-chain fatty acids. All these things get converted to hydrogen gas, and the reality is that would help us to have the hydrogen we needed to keep oxidation. Well, the problem now is we have so many chemicals in our diet. We have so many pesticides and pharmaceuticals and other things that are disruptive to our gut bacteria that we are not producing that hydrogen gas like we should be, and we're not reducing oxidative stress and inflammation in our body. And so we end up in a constant state of stress. And that's the big problem that we have, from food allergies to anxiety and stress to depression to disease models. All of this is caused by damage to the gut. And I know Dr. Axe talks about this a lot, and many others talk about gut issues. And the reality is we can help that individual significantly by drinking the water, because of the fact that the water is negative 400 millivolts. Studies have shown when we get the intestinal tract, the environment, to a negative 400 millivolts, anaerobic microflora is produced in the intestinal tract, And all of a sudden you have the good bacteria back and the proper milieu, the proper environment for them to live. And so now you'll have all kinds of benefits coming. Food allergies being reduced, anxiety, stress, depression, these kind of things can go away. So it's very, very, very powerful. So what we've talked about so far is amazing, right? You're getting filtered water, you're removing glyphosate, you're getting hydrogen in the water that's going to help you with over 170 human disease models. That's what the studies show. Now, we can't guarantee everybody, and we can't obviously make a claim, even though the FDA has given GRAS status, or generally recognized as safe, to water with hydrogen in it. It would be very foolish and inappropriate for us to say everyone is going to have, huge benefits. We can't say that, but we can say that there are over 700 studies, 45 human studies that were not paid for. They were done by universities and hospitals, showing that hydrogen dissolved in water has a tremendous benefit to allow the body to work properly, whether it's fixing improper fermentation in the gut or digestion issues, or it's helping with cognitive issues, or it's helping with oxidative stress. After we did all of that amazing, amazing work in the machine, we just launched almost a year ago the Synergy Resonance technology, which is frequencies. This is basically taking a frequency device, putting it into the machine, and through quantum entanglement, we now can put frequencies in the water. And this is huge. I have been using this for a year. Many, many doctors that promote our machines have been using this for a year. And we have people that are just loving the frequencies. And again, it's built into the machine. You don't have to use them if you don't want to. What you're buying is a machine that filters water and provides hydrogen. But as a bonus, or as a huge, amazing, life-changing technology, the Synergy Resonance technology, which is similar to Rife, it's similar to homeopathic remedies and these kind of things. What it allows you to do is to have frequencies in your water for liver, gallbladder, kidney, eyes, brain, heart, premenstrual, sleep support, immune function, anxiety and stress, all kinds of parasite cleanse, all kinds of things like this. And it allows you to just go to a portal that you can choose what frequency you want going to what organ, and boom, 90 seconds later, that's what the machine is putting in the water after it cleans the water, after it puts hydrogen. The last step in the machine is to put frequencies in the water, which are very, very nice. So,
Paul, that is all so great. I don't know if we can get through all these slides, but I know we've got a lot of questions. I'm just going to, maybe we should just get back on the screen and take some of those questions, and you can cover this up. I'm going through your slideshow pretty quick here because time is of the essence, and I really want those people to be able to get their questions answered. So I don't know how.
If we go back to the frequently asked questions, right there, right there,
we're both hitting it. There you go.
That one is most people's question. So can I use it worldwide? Yes, of course. We answer that. What's the cost of shipping? Free. What's the warranty? 5 years covering parts, labor, and return shipping. What's the installation? Basic installation included in the USA and parts of Canada. Can I use the machine with special water? We talked about that. Can I use electric? What happens if it goes out? That's a big one people ask, Charlene. When my power goes out, can I still use the machine? And the answer is yes. You will still have filtered water and you'll have the frequency water. You just won't have the hydrogen while the electricity is out. The next one, the machine can be used countertop or under sink. And the big difference that people ask is, how can this be different than alkaline water? Well, we know a lot of people have heard of alkaline water. There is no benefit to drinking water with a higher pH. The benefit always came from hydrogen. The problem was these alkaline water machines would get calcium buildup, and when they would get calcium buildup, they would no longer dissolve hydrogen, and people would lose the benefits of the machine. And so we don't change the pH of the water in this machine. We are putting hydrogen, which is where the benefits came from in alkaline water anyways. So there is no benefit to alkaline water that you're not getting in this machine, but you don't have to worry about drinking high pH water, which can be harmful to people. The last and final frequently asked question is, can I drink too much H2 water? And the reality is no. The hydrogen only lasts about an hour in your body and you breathe it out, but the effects can last up to 3 to 5 days. And so this is very, very good. We already talked about that. This is what they're going to get. The machine.
A lot of people were asking this. Someone was asking, what are those tablets? And so, yeah, I saw that question. There's a lot of questions that they've got. That's one thing.
We can start doing questions now. The tablets are for travel. Basically, they make hydrogen water on the run, and they can be used for travel. They can be used for anything really. If you pop over to Europe for 30 days or wherever you go, you can take the tablets and you can create with a regular, get a clean bottle of water and put the tablets in. It'll create the water for you. But this shows the value that they are getting. And this is all that they'll pay Friends of TTAC. So that's the slide presentation. And we can get to questions if we want to answer.
Paul, that's $1,000 savings there. What a blessing to be able to bring that to the people. Ty's empty block in the middle. Hey, Ty, you can talk, say hi. I don't know if I think he's back there. He texted and said, hey, I'm here. But Pam, she's got a question. How do you clean the machine? And I think you mentioned that, but maybe you can let them know this is a real benefit of this machine. Is there any internal cleaning needed? You got a good answer coming, Pam. Paul?
There's really not much cleaning needed on this machine, but just to be extra safe for people, if they are clean freaks, right? We have a cleaning kit that they can use with the machine. It's very easy to do, and they can do it every couple years, every once a year if they want to. That's really sufficient for this, but you can clean it. It's not really necessary because we don't have buildup of calcium in these machines, but we do have a cleaning kit if they want it.
And you know what? Marjorie asks, how does your website set the frequency on the water filter? Great question.
That is a great question. So we have a device in the machine that receives information from our servers. We have a server in England. We have a server in Texas. They wirelessly connect to the machine, and the information for what frequency you're choosing is sent to the machine, and then those frequencies are put into the water. And every time you change, which you can change it as often as you wish, about 90 seconds later, that's what's going to be coming into the water in the machine.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm just remembering that story that you said you were at a show helping people to understand the benefits of this machine. There was a lady with parasites. Yeah. She said she had parasites. So you programmed your frequency to parasites. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So the way these work, there's a drop-down menu, and you have heart, kidney, liver, gallbladder, and one of those drop-down menus is common parasite elimination. This lady, we were at a show, she had parasites. She came to us and said, I have parasites. Can you help me? We put the machine at the show on common parasite elimination. All we gave her was 2 glasses of water, maybe 4 ounces each. She drank them, and she came back and said, holy cow, about an hour after I drank the water, I was in the bathroom and parasites were coming out of me in the toilet. And I was like, holy cow, wow, right?
Oh, wow, so, yeah.
Then she emailed me and she was like, for the next 24 hours, my body was eliminating parasites. So this has been
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, there's a science behind it. There's a frequency. God has given us healing frequencies. And that's what this is. And to be able to program, it's like the Rife machine. If anybody has studied or understands the technology behind the Rife machine, it's just a simple frequency. And you set that Rife machine to a different frequency to treat a different ailment. And there are frequencies that actually target and kill cancer cells on that Rife machine. So the frequency that targeted the parasites worked in that case. I mean, that's crazy.
Right. And people ask, how do you get it to the machine? Because we don't require electricity with the device that puts the frequencies in, but what we are using is quantum entanglement. So you could call it quantum physics or quantum entanglement. That is the technology we use. And because it's just one-way communication, we don't require electricity to the device that puts the frequencies in the water. It's a very beautiful technology. And there's a lot of studies on quantum entanglement, which basically says what you do on one end happens on the other end. That's what quantum entanglement is. So it's a very beautiful technology.
You're just so brilliant, Paul. That's awesome. Okay, so V, our next question comes in from V. Can you use this water all the time? Coffee, drinking water, etc.
Yes, you can. It can absolutely become your drinking water all the time.
I see Ty. Hi, Ty. Hi, honey.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Out there in the audience.
There's something really glitchy. Y'all are doing a great job. You're doing a great job, by the way, on this thing without me. I'm not needed. It's clear. You're doing a great job on this webinar, but I've been trying to say things, and apparently if my camera's not on, my microphone automatically won't come back on. And I've tried to turn it on manually. So anyway, I was just trying to share a few things throughout the last half hour, but I was never being heard, which is no big deal. So y'all just get back to it. I just wanted to say hi. And y'all are doing great. So get back to it. I'm going to log back off so y'all can finish up the webinar.
Okay.
Hey, thanks, Ty. And real quick, N says, Paul, I want this on DVD, Nancy F. So, you know what? You can replay the webinar, watch it again, learn what you can. You can come back, really get into what he's saying, look at those slides. They're up long enough where you can read them and understand them. And you could click into the link above to see how you can purchase. Look at more information there as well. And we encourage you today with everything that you're going to get, Paul, that's $1,000 savings.
Exactly. It's amazing.
Jump in there. Great deal.
So let's go. It says, can the frequency be tampered with? No. The system is extremely secure. It's impossible for anyone to get into it. It's completely controlled, and it's so encrypted. It's crazy.
And Brandy says, when you travel, are tablets safe for kids?
Yes. The water from the machine is safe from the kids, and the tablets are safe. There's about 50 milligrams of magnesium that someone will get when they use the tablets, so that's not a bad thing. It helps most everybody. A lot of people are magnesium deficient anyways.
Right. And then we've got a broadcast question. Patricia, is Wi-Fi able to be turned off? Or is Wi-Fi able to be turned off the machine? I'm not sure what that question is.
I think she's assuming that the machine somehow is connected by Wi-Fi. There is no Wi-Fi in the machine at all. There's no internet connection to the machine, and there's no Wi-Fi. The internet, the way you change the frequencies is on a phone or a tablet or a computer. As long as your phone or tablet or computer is connected to the internet, that's all that's needed. The machine itself does not in any way connect to Wi-Fi or any internet itself.
And Annette asks, is it difficult to install?
It's extremely easy. Even our installation video is only 5 minutes and 21 seconds for the whole installation video. It's very easy to install.
Okay, so we've got a broadcast question. Deborah says, if I use it to make a smoothie the night before and then take it to work for lunch the next day, will the hydrogen still be active? Great question.
It is a good question. What I would always say, anytime you're putting it in a container to take it with you, you want to make sure there's no airspace in the container, because that will kind of hold hydrogen there for a few days. And if you put the water, or a smoothie in this case, into a container, make sure there's no airspace, and then the hydrogen will stay in that liquid for up to 8 to 10 days.
Oh, great. And someone's asking, what about your pets?
Oh, yeah. Pets love the water. In fact, you can do something fun. You can take tap water or some other kind of water, put it in a bowl, put our water in a bowl, and see where the pets go to. They will always instinctively go to our water.
That's crazy. Wow. Yeah. Now the questions coming in so fast. There's so many. Oh, look at Ty. Barney Fife. Barney Fife is in the house.
Hey, what's going on?
Woo!
What happened, y'all?
What's
Come on,
happening,
Ange.
Barney?
Let me go do some.
That's funny.
Now, Peter suggested that I do this so it'll take less bandwidth for the video.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny. Okay, so we've got, there was one question that passed. What, honey?
Okay, forget it. I'm on whether you can see me or not, it's still on a pretty, like a 2-second delay. So I'm just going to let you all handle this. I was going to try to join you with audio and Barney Five's picture, but it's not going to work because we're still on a delay. So Barney Five signing out, Ange.
Bye-bye. So Sharon Lee asks, I came in late. Can I watch this again? Good news for you, Sharon, and anybody else that came in late, or even if you don't make it to the webinar until the very end, we do have a replay option. So absolutely watch it again, listen to the science. It's fascinating. You can look at those slides and the information. So yes, Sharon and anyone else out there, you can watch it again, right?
Yep.
Yes. And we've got a broadcast question, Scott. How can I measure the frequency to the water to make sure the water contains the correct frequency?
Well, I mean, the water will always have the correct frequency. Whatever you're choosing, that's what's going to be in the water. But you can you can measure frequencies. There are devices that you can measure frequencies. I don't know which one you may have or not have, but there are devices that you can put in water and measure frequency. We don't really say what the frequency, because many of these formulas may have 500 frequencies in them having to do with certain conditions and things. So we don't talk about it from a specific frequency perspective. We talk about it from an organ perspective, like brain, eyes, lungs, cardiovascular system, heart, these kind of things. Yeah.
Okay, so this is an interesting question. This is the one I was searching for. I got lost a little while ago. Stephen Wagner asks, what is the lifespan of this machine?
The lifespan of the machine is a really long time. The only part of the machine that has any kind of a lifespan is the proton exchange membrane, the PEM membrane that's inside. It really will work for around 1,000 to 1,500 hours. So you think about if you're pouring a glass of water and you take a few seconds, that membrane will function at 100% efficiency for about 1,000 hours to 1,500 hours. And so, I mean, you're talking 10 or 15 years at least that it's going to last. So most people are very, very, very happy with that. Yeah.
Okay, and I know there's a broadcast question, but here's a really good one. Lori asks, is this machine better than a water distiller?
So a water distiller is just a filtration device. It doesn't have hydrogen in it. So yes, this would be better than a water distiller. But the good news is you can use distilled water with our device. So then you'll have the benefits of distilled water that you want and the benefits of hydrogen that you want.
Yeah, so the broadcast question, Nicole asks, are there any EMFs associated with this machine?
Yeah, no, I mean, we're in the, anyone that knows, we have the key technology. We
yeah,
really,
I was thinking that, yeah.
Yeah, we don't like the damaging radiation from EMFs, and so you really don't have that issue with this machine. It's not producing those kind of EMFs when it's sitting in your house. No.
All right, and let's see. Dave Anders asked, can you manually set the frequency range?
No. So understand, this is a system that $6.5 million were spent and 750 doctors got together to create these formulas. People like Helda Clark, for instance, were involved with the parasite cleanse, the autism, and the different things. These are formulas that have been put together by amazing individuals. They work. They're awesome. And like I said, you're choosing a drop-down menu based on organ or based on an issue you might be having, and it's going to help you with what you're choosing. And the other thing is there's no contract. You get 30 days for free. When they get their machine, they have 30 days to try this system out and see if they like it, and there's no cost for that 30 days. They can use it as much as they want, And if they like it, they continue paying monthly. If they don't, then they don't use it anymore.
Oh, great. And so Tracy asks, where in Canada is installation available? Could you install it yourself?
You can install it yourself. The installation is available in the Toronto area and metro area around that. And it actually goes out an hour or so outside of Toronto. And then also Vancouver, we have installation in Vancouver, Canada.
Great. And Kathleen asks, for countertop, how does the machine connect to the water?
It would connect through your main faucet that you have, and we provide a diverter valve that you connect to that faucet.
Great. And Colin asks, what if we have well water that is high in sodium?
You would want to reduce that sodium. There are filters that you can use. We do reduce a small amount. We do reduce sodium in our machine a little bit, but if you really had high sodium levels, you would want to remove that.
Yeah, right. A lot of people asking about their pets. It's great for pets, and you already addressed that. So I think we've covered a lot of ground, Paul. In closing, what would you want to share with the viewers? I mean, I want to encourage everybody. I have the machine. I love it. I understand the science behind it. We at The Truth About Cancer, me, Ty, and our whole team, we just want you guys to be healthy, understand your options, and optimize your health in such a toxic world. Unfortunately, water is so toxic, and there's so much information about water, it's hard to understand what works and what doesn't. And this machine, from all of our research, is really by leaps and bounds way ahead of anything else out there. With the hydrogen, a molecular hydrogen infused into the water, it's optimizing the gut health like you talked about, and which is really where your health is or is not located. And then the frequencies, which is a game changer. What do you have to say, Paul? I mean, what do you want to leave the audience with?
Well, I would say to them that there are three things. There are no safety issues in any way with drinking this water for babies, for children, for animals, for people. There are many benefits you're going to get from drinking this water systemically. So it may not help you with one issue, but it may help you with other things. And so there is no negative to drinking the water. There's no negative to being hydrated. And so I really strongly recommend people that want to be protected from issues that are out there, whether they be pesticide issues or other issues. This is one of the most amazing things you can do for your health, period. It's a foundational thing that you need to do. Second, the frequencies. Please understand, it is optional to use them or not, but I can tell you from personal experience, they are amazing. They are incredible. You will fall in love with them. And it's easy to change them. You can change them as often as you wish. Anytime, day or night, you can change them. And actually, if you're 5,000 miles away from your machine and your spouse is home and needs you to change them, you can change them. It's a wireless system that works, and it's very protected and very healthy and beautiful energies. The other thing I would say to you is that any other questions they have, they can reach out to us or you, and we're happy to answer them. We're always there to support them, always to help them through if they're doing self-install. We have videos for them. We have support for them. We have people that can answer specific questions for them, because I know there's 1,000 more questions we could answer. Right. But all I can tell you is we will be there for you. And I guess the last thing I should say, I said 3 things, but I'm going to say 4. Please don't believe the nonsense on the internet. We have, in the last, about 3 years ago, a competitor that created some fake reviews and false information about us. We are the original company. I am the one that created hydrogen water systems. And before that was alkaline water. We have shipped thousands upon thousands upon thousands of machines with happy customers. You know, don't believe everything you read on the internet about everything. I hope we understand.
Don't Google my name either, Paul, or Ty's, or the Truth About Cancer, because, you know, you actually save lives. And in this day and age, they're going to have to say bad things about you that aren't even close to truth. Right. So we get that, Paul. We love you. I'm so excited about this. And for those viewers out there that still have more questions that were not answered, please contact Paul's team at info@synergyscience.com. Be sure to mention that you heard about them through The Truth About Cancer so that you can give that big giant discount, and they will give it to you. So
and that's
thank you.
And that's the only way they get that.
Yeah, that's the only way you're going to get that discount, guys. So, get it here, or if you reach out with a question, let them know you're coming from The Truth About Cancer, because Paul loves us just like we love him, and he loves you. He wants to bring you life, and so he's dropped that price dramatically. You're not going to find that anywhere else. So get it while the getting's good, guys. Thank you for joining us. And Paul, thank you.
Thank you. Big hugs.
You too. Bye.
Bye.